Entering the final game of the 2009 season, it appeared that A-Rod's ridiculous streak of 11 consecutive seasons with 30 home runs and 100 RBIs would come to an end. Due to missing the first month of the season after recovering from a very serious hip surgery, A-Rod sat at 28 home runs and 93 RBIs, meaning he would need a 2-homer, 7 RBI performance in just one game to keep the streak alive. Obviously, it was very unlikely, and Alex himself said it wasn't realistic and that it wasn't even a goal. But this was Alex Rodriguez, and in 2009, he had a flair for the dramatic like no other, which was apparent from the minute he returned from the DL on May 8th in Baltimore. Beginning to spiral with a 13-15 record, the Yankees were nowhere near championship caliber without A-Rod. So, of course, he would return and immediately crush a 3-run homer on the very first pitch he'd see, which many attribute to sparking the club's magical run ahead. But back to game 162. Through 2 at-bats, Alex singled and flew out. If it wasn't already impossible, it sure seems so now. Here's where it gets crazy. Tampa had a 2-0 lead against Yankee starter AJ Burnett and now had just given up a double to Johnny Damon and walked Mark Teixeira, which brought up A-Rod as the go-ahead run. And just like many other times that season, he came through and put his team ahead, crushing a 3-run blast over the wall and left. Now, with 29 homers and 96 RBI, he could dream. If the Yankees could load the bases for him before season's end, he'd have a chance, and that chance would come later in the same inning. After taking the lead, the Yankees didn't stop there, eventually adding 3 more runs before walking Mark Teixeira yet again, which was actually pretty controversial because he was tied with Rays first baseman Carlos Pena for the league lead in home runs with 39. But what it did do was bring up Alex Rodriguez once more in the same inning. With the bases loaded, needing a grand slam to extend what would be a record-breaking streak, A-Rod came up one last time in the 2009 season.
Did he get it? Deep to right. There it goes. See ya. A grand slam. Alex Rodriguez. And he has 101 batted in. 7 RBIs in the 6th inning for Alex Rodriguez.
And just like that, he did it. A-Rod now had 12 consecutive seasons with 30 and 100, and he'd do it for the final time the next season in 2010. Despite all the controversy, despite many valid reasons to criticize him, there is no denying that Alex had quite the flair for the dramatic, which continued into the postseason where he hit .365 with 6 home runs and 18 RBIs in one of the most clutch Octobers the game has ever seen.